Okay, now we will come to the actual definition of Python. It's an object-oriented, interpreted, interactive, high-level, general-purpose programming language. That is the definition. What do you mean by object-oriented? Object-oriented means, like mainly the languages, we can divide into different ways. The way how it is done, it is can be divided in different ways. We know the procedural oriented way. C is a procedural oriented programming language, and Python is an object oriented programming language. Not only Python, we have Java, C++. These all languages are object oriented languages. Okay, the main difference is procedural oriented means we are giving importance more to the procedures, how a thing we are going to do, how a task. So importance is given to the task, not to who is going to do. In object oriented programming, through the objects everything is happening. Through this person, through an employee calculating the salary, through an employee object the output is coming, like that. Objects are having importance more than the procedures. Okay, fine. We will come to that. In between, we are having a complete discussion about this object-oriented concepts. Okay, now coming to an interpreted language. Interpreted language means, like usually whenever we type any like programming language, it should be converted to the machine language. Like machine language means binary. Right, so it is after converting to machine language, execution happens. So how it is happening? It can be in different ways, like compiled languages, interpreted languages, like that classification are there. So compilation means converting the complete code together into the machine code. Interpreted languages means line by line conversion to machine language. Fine. Okay, now coming to interactive language. Interactive language means now here in Python, we have different modes in Python whenever we are doing. So this is whenever any like anything is interactive. Suppose a classroom is an interactive classroom. Then we used to say, if the instructor is asking some question, the response is coming fast. If everybody completely in silent, it will never be an interactive, right? So in the same way, the next moment we are getting the answer. In Python, we have a shell mode. I'll just show you that. When you install Python, you will be able to get mainly two modes. They are this one, Python. Here in my system, it is 3.6 is installed. So you will be getting a mode like this. Okay, so it's an interactive mode, you can say. Here, whatever you type, 2 plus 2, you will be getting 4 here. 6 plus 7, you'll be getting the value here, like that. So response is just as a calculator, it works. Mainly this is using for a testing purposes, this particular mode. Here we are not saving the program. After saving, we are not executing. This mode is just for something we just want to test. We can use this one. Okay, the other mode we are having, we are calling that mode as idle. Idle means integrated development environment. In this integrated development environment, we are able to type the program, we can save the program, and we can execute. Here in the next line, we will not get output. Okay, so Python is an interactive programming language. The response is very fast. Okay, in that way we can say. Yes, now coming to high level language. What we meant by high level languages, like usually when I write, if you want to output something in Python, what is the line you use? We are using a print statement in order to output in Python. Okay, so print hello. If I write, the hello will be outputting over there. Different languages, different ways are there. If it is in C, we are writing print F for outputting. Correct. And if we are writing in any other languages, suppose in Java, it is system.out.println is the way we are going to output. Here in Python, it is a print statement in order to output. And to input the value, we use input method also. Okay, so by seeing the code, as a human being, we are able to understand. Not as a human being, the people who are comfortable in English. So we are able to understand what is done. Of course, we will never think print is for input. We will never think like that. So it's in a human understandable format. We can say it is a high level language because of that. It's a human understandable format. Low level languages means it is machine language, just like 0011. Machine language is a low level language. By saying that, we are not able to understand what is that. Correct. And when you write assembly languages, MVI0, like that things are there. So that is also we are not able to understand. So the point is, it's a high level language, means it's a human understandable format. Okay, if any problem, you can just ping me in the chat window. I'll stop and I'll explain to you. Okay, fine. So we are going forward. It's a general purpose programming language. General purpose programming language is nothing but it is using for different purposes, not only for one purpose. Python, it is possible to create a desktop application. It is possible to create a web application. It's possible to create any mobile applications. It is based on machine learning and data science domain. The implementation can be done by using Python. So it's not used for one purpose. That is the reason we can call it as a general purpose programming language. Fine. So this is the basic idea of Python. What is Python? Now I'll show you one slide which is just comparing different languages. So from that we will be able to understand why are we using Python. We know it is an easy programming language as per the definition we are seeing everywhere. So how the difference is coming? I'm going to that page now. Yeah. In this slide, it explains how we are printing hello world by using C, by using Java, and by using Python. In C, we have to write hash include stdio.h, main method, printf, like that, curly braces. Programmers are fond of writing curly braces. Okay, usually in all languages. So in Java also, bit more complications are there. See, public static void main string arguments. So without that, Java program will not work. Okay, so class sample, without class, we cannot write any Java program. It's a completely object-oriented programming language. Fine. But in Python, when we write the same code, we have to just write print hello world, nothing more than that. Within one line, the same functionality we are implementing. Okay, so that is an advantage. So how it becomes an advantage? When you write, this is actually we are writing one line of code. But when in companies, if instead of this 1 or 2 lines, hundreds of lines of code you will have to write. At that time, if the number of lines are less, of course, obviously it is an advantageous thing. Correct. So there comes the first advantage, first positive thing of Python. Okay. Any problems? Please ping me in the chat window. Otherwise, you can unmute and talk, not a problem. So if nobody is talking, I feel okay, all are fine. You're able to follow.
Yes, ma'am, it's fine.
Yes, Pooja. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am, it's fine.
It is fine. Okay, okay. Yeah. Fine. Now, coming to, I'll just explain a bit more in Python. Features of Python, if anybody is asking you, you can say it is easy to code and read. Okay, free and open source, dynamically typed, large standard library. There are some features of Python. Okay, it is not limited to this much. Easy to code and read, we have already seen. It is easy. We have to just write a print statement. Instead of writing so many curly braces, importing libraries, we don't have to, only one line. It's an easy programming language. Now it's free and open source. Free and open source means it is freely downloadable. Correct. We don't have to pay anything. That is free and open source. Now, dynamically typed programming language. That is an important line. Dynamically typed. What do you mean by dynamically typed languages? I'll show you with that by typing the code. In other programming languages, if you are creating, suppose you want to add two numbers, usually you will write int a in Java, int one variable name. Int is a data type we used to say, correct? So how the data, what is the kind of data? That is the data type means. So in Python, if you want to add two numbers, you usually write a is equal to 10. This is first variable. A is just a variable. Variables are some identifiers or the placeholders where we are giving some value. Its value keeps on changing. I can give any more values to that. A is equal to 10 and B is equal to 20 if I give. Now, if you write here C is equal to A plus B, C we are outputting will get 30. This is a simple program just to add two numbers. So why it is dynamically typed is we are not giving any data type for A. Anytime, any value I can give to A or B. So after this, if I change the value, A is equal to 1.2. Now A is equal to 1.2. Initially A was 10, A is equal to 10. Dynamism is there. Initially A was an integer value. Then it is changed to a float value. Then again it is changed to an integer value, like that. So that dynamism is there. Any kind of values, it is possible to store in that variable A. Okay, but when we think about other programming language, if it is in C, when you declare int A, okay, you will have to give an integer value to A. You cannot change it. Again, the same variable you cannot use for other data with other data types also. So that dynamism is not there in any other languages, but in Python we have. It is possible to store different kind of dynamically typed. You don't have to declare the data type also. Okay, so that type of that particular variable, it is possible to change anytime. So that is the reason it is a dynamically typed programming language. We are not specifying any type for the variable A. It's having large standard library. As we know, it is having like n many libraries in Python. Okay, so that libraries we are just importing and we are going to use that. For example, one library I will show you, math library in Python. Library, how are we taking to our session is by using a keyword import. Import and we'll write math. Math is a predefined library in Python. When I write import math, okay, that library is imported to this particular one memory area. We are calling it as interpreter specific session, inbuilt area. Interpreter's inbuilt area is also there. When I'm importing to a particular memory area, this math library is getting imported. Now, inside the math library, we have a square root function, math.square root, SQRT. Then if I write 64 over there, we'll be getting the value. So many functionalities like that. Almost 1 lakh, near to 1 lakh libraries are there in Python. Okay, we are just importing that libraries and we will write the functionalities. When you use one library, how do we know what all functionalities are there inside that? We have a method for that. We can use dir method, and dir in bracket, if I write math over there, you will be getting inside that particular library what all methods are there, what all variables are there. Okay, we'll come to in detail explanation I will give you later, but this is the way. Import math is importing one library, and math.square root is a function or a method inside that library. We are just applying that. Fine. Okay, now yeah, so that is they are the main features of Python. Now going to the next slide. This is the person who developed Python, Guido van Rossum, father of Python. By 1991, as I told you, it's by the year of 1991. The time, he was having some free time at the time of December. So that is the reason he wanted to experiment something. So he developed a language, like a Python programming language. Then he was a big fan of a BBC show. Its name was Monty Python's Flying Circus. From that name, he named this language as Python. Okay, it is not because of snake. Because of that BBC show, this name came. Fine. Okay, this slide we already discussed. Now coming to survey of Python future. More evidence that Python is the best starter programming language. We can say Python as a starter programming language, no doubt in that. Okay, so when you study the initial chapters of Python, you will be able to understand how it is. Okay, so anybody can start. In order to start a language, programming language, we can start with Python, no doubt in that. So these are the applications of Python. So some applications of Python, these all are some libraries. This tkinter is a GUI library. In order to create GUI application, graphical user interface applications, we can use tkinter. And Django we are using for, it's a web application framework. Web applications also we can develop. Pygame for game development, for molecular biology, natural language processing, data visualization, scientific computing, like that many applications are there. So these are libraries we are just importing in our page or in our session, we can say. Then we are calling the functionalities of that. That is the way Python works. Python in web development. This is just for an understanding. These all are web application frameworks in Python. So Django is commonly used. Okay, Flask is a micro framework, we can say. It's not that much functionalities are there. Okay, so Pyramid, Tornado, they all are different web application. Web application means internet-based applications we can develop by using Python. For that, we are having this kind of frameworks. So these names we should be familiar with. Who uses Python today? Many companies using Python. Okay, YouTube is using, Instagram, Google, Pinterest, Yahoo, everywhere Python is there. It's the best question to ask who all are not using Python now, instead of who uses Python. Okay. Now, growth of Python. By seeing this slide, you are able to understand how much growth happened for Python comparing to other languages. But Java is there over there. JavaScript is also there. But it is not, the growth of Python is this much. No doubt it is because of this machine learning data science. Okay, because we know other examples also. Whenever we are we are working with Facebook, suppose we have so many friends, so friend suggestions, we are getting friend suggestions. Okay, if we send a friend request one day, next day his mutual friends may come as a friend suggestion, right, to us. How it is happening? Some analysis is happening behind the scene. So that is through data science. Actually, the domain is data science, implementation is happening through Python. So this much comfortably we cannot implement data science or machine learning by using any other programming languages. That is another advantage of Python. Now, US salary as per Indeed, this is Python is having second place. Okay, Ruby is having first place and Python is having second place. Other languages are also there. Now, most popular languages as per 2020, Java, Python, C++, JavaScript, Golang. They are the most popular programming languages. Top 5 we can say. Yes, these two modes we already discussed. Now we'll do one thing. I will show you one program in that idle. I have already shown by adding two numbers in the shell mode. Shell mode is the rightmost one. That's the black color, just like the command prompt. So usually we use that for the testing purposes. Whenever we type something, in the next line we need to get output. So we can use that shell mode, but we cannot save over there. In order to save the program, in order to execute, we are going to use a script mode. So in this script mode, I will type the program, I will execute and show it to you. Just adding two numbers, that's all. Fine. Okay. Taking idle. Idle is integrated development environment. Here we are going to type. So as I told you, two numbers, I just want to add two numbers and get the result. So just an identifier I require. I'll write num1, which is equal to 100. Num2, which is equal to 200. Just two variables, I'm giving the values. Instead of A, B, any names you can provide, but it says standardized ways you have to give, you should understand what is that. So giving A, B is not a good practice. So num1, num2, by saying that, we are able to understand. Otherwise, number 1, number 2, like that you can give the names. So when we study, it is this variables, names and all will not play an important role to us. But when we work in a company, it plays an important role, because whenever any requirement is coming, as per the requirement, when you give the name for the variables, there should be a meaning. It's compulsory. So convention plays an important role when you are going to work in real-time applications. Okay, fine. So we are going to find the result. Result is equal to num1 plus num2. Now we are going to print the result here. Print result like this. So this much we have to do. But because of this is in the script mode, we'll have to save this. Go to File, Save As. And save it in a place. You can take any folder. Suppose I have a Python folder. So I'll go to this Python folder here. Now, my first demo. So when I type it, first demo, it's already there, so I'll just give a name. It is not having that much of importance in Python. When you give a file name, no problem, any names you can give. In Java and all, when we write, we will have to give the class name. That should be the file name, like that compulsions are there. But here nothing like that. There is no compulsion for the file name. So after giving the name, you are saving. Now for executing the program, you can go to run and run module. So when you execute, you are getting the result here, 300. But this program, result is one variable, num1, num2, three variables are there. Print is the method in order to output. This program we are initializing. So initialization as a programmer, suppose you are getting a program to add two numbers and give the result. User is going to input two numbers. That should be the scenario. It should never be like you are going to initialize. So when I write a program, you have to think in the user's perspective. Correct. So what we will do is, when I write num1, you can input, you have to give an input method to input from the user. So I'll write an input method. In Python, we have an input method like this. So what will happen here? Here, when you execute, it will wait for you to enter the value. So here also I will write this input. So whenever you are inputting, that value will go to num1 and num2. That is the basic idea. Now I'll just save this program. Let us execute again. Going to run module. So we are just, actually this is blinking. It's not terminated also. So we are able to understand, because for this scenario, we are able to understand what to do. But that is not the actual case. When I am writing the program you are using, you should know what I have to enter here. Correct. So this is not a good practice, just giving an input method. So what you will have to do is, you will have to give a statement. Please enter the number. Enter number 1. Enter your first number. Okay, give in single quotes. Now coming to num2, I am writing here, enter your second number, like this. So now when you execute the program, Control S, go to run and run module. So it is asking you to enter the number. So I will enter some number. So as we typed already, so I'll enter 100. And second number, 200. But what we are getting here? Here we are getting 100 and 200. Like after 100, 200. So it is, instead of adding, it's concatenating. Okay, usually in Python, when the concatenation happens is when you add two strings, when you use the plus operator with strings. Suppose hello, welcome, I am adding. So I'll show you that in the Python shell mode. So I will just write here a string. In double quotes, whatever you write, it is a string. String means your name is a string, your address is a string, your place is a string. Okay, but the numbers, if you are writing, interpreter understands that what is a number. So hello plus, and if I write here welcome, what you are getting? Hello, welcome. So it is concatenating one by one. The same thing here also happening. So the thing is, even though you are entering 100, it is taking it as a string. Correct. That we don't want. We want a conversion from string to integer. So how can we do that? The conversion in Python by using int of. If you want to convert to integer, int of. So another point we have to notice, even though we are not declaring the variables with data types are existing in Python. Okay, so here we are going to write converting integer, int of this one. Anyway, now let us check it out, how it is converting. Int of input, enter your first number. Int of input, enter your second number. That is the way we have written, we have formatted. Now let's see. Enter your first number, 100. Enter your second number, 200. So we are getting the result here, 300. So this is the way a Python program works. Is this fine? Any problems? Please let me know. Yeah, no problems from anybody? Yeah, this responding. Pooja, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, is this fine?
Yes, ma'am. Fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So this is the way you people have some idea about Python, or like, are you beginners? Yes, Hema knows bit. Okay. And yeah, others also. You can chat, give the response in the chat window. If you're not talking, that is also fine. But please respond. Are you completely new to Python? Yes. Pooja, what about you?
I'm beginner now.
You are a beginner. So you're able to follow this, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a final
It's
year?
nice. No, ma'am. I am third year.
Huh?
Third year.
Third year. Okay.
Now we have this subject.
Sorry?
Now we have this subject in
You
our
have
college.
Python now. Okay, fine.
No.
Yeah. So this is the way Python basic program works. Fine. Yeah. Now, next what I want to discuss with you is one more topic I will discuss with you. And then that is the thing is like the data types, as I told you, data types. Even though it is not, we are not declaring the data types are existing in Python. Okay, so how do we know that? We can understand by using a type method. Okay, type of any variable. If you write here number is equal to 100, and if I write here type of number, so you are able to understand integer class int is coming. So all our classes in Python, predefined classes, data types are also predefined classes in Python. So type method of that variable is giving you what is the data type. Like that, any variable, suppose num is equal to 1.2 you are providing. Then when I give here type of num, so you're getting float. So float data type is there. Okay. Now coming to any other kind, like num is equal to, suppose I'll give a string value for that. Hello. Now when I give type of num here, so I'll get str. So str is the data type over there. Okay, int, float, str, string. Now other than that, we have num is equal to, we have a complex type in Python. That means 3 plus 4j. If I write real and imaginary part, it is. When we draw graphs and all, we were doing this 3 plus 4j, real part, imaginary part, like that. We are calling this data type as a complex data type in Python. Now, when I write here type of num, so we are getting class as complex. So complex data type is there in Python. Now other than that, we have one more, that is num is equal to, if I write a variable, a value true, it is a string actually, collection of characters. String is nothing but collection of character. But true is a predefined value in Python. When I write num is equal to true, it understands, no problem. Okay, but when I write num is equal to small true, it will not understand. See, it will not. Name true is not defined. You are getting an error over there. So T should be capital in the true. That's a predefined value. Num is equal to true. Now, I will be writing here type of num. So what am I getting? Class as bool. So different data types, when we think, we are able to understand these are the main data types. So I'll just list it out. We have int data type, we have float data type, we have str, and we have complex, and we have Boolean, bool data type. These are the data types names in Python. Okay, other than that, we have something more. Suppose a collection of values you want to write. You want to write a collection of values. So we will be doing list1, which is equal to one variable we are writing in a square bracket, some set of values we are writing, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. So close the square bracket. So when you write here type of list1, what will happen? It's a list. List1, whatever I had written over there is just a variable only. In that variable, I am storing some set of values by using a square bracket. Okay, so when you give type of list1, you are getting class as list. So list is also a predefined data type, we can say. Okay, so list, it's dealing with the collection of values, not only list. Suppose here in this case, I am just giving instead of list1, I just change this one, the square bracket into parenthesis, like this. So what will happen? Now when you type here type of list1, you will be able to see it's a tuple. So tuple means this is also a collection of values only. There are some differences, just like we are calling them as data structures also. Correct. So here, when you write type of list 1, you are getting a tuple here. Only the change here we are able to see is bracket changes there. List is having square bracket, tuple is having parenthesis over there. Now, I'll show you another representation also. In detail explanation of data structure is there in another chapter. Okay, but here we are going to explain. I'm just showing you how to represent. So this is curly braces I'm going to use. Now when you use type of list 1, you will be getting it as a set. So there is a set data structure, which is considered as a data type also. Fine. Now when you write here, another kind, that is same variable I will use. Variable is not a matter. Any name you can provide over there. In curly braces, when you write 1:100, 2:200, 3:300, that means these are some key value pairs. Roll number 1 is having like one value 100, like that. Otherwise I'll do, for understanding bit more good way, instead of 200 I'll just write 56. Roll number 3 is having the marks 87, like this, some set of students marks you are writing. This is a key value pair actually. Okay, this representation we are calling as dictionary in Python. Type of list 1, if you type, you will get class dictionary. Dict it is. The name is dict. Even though we are calling string, the class name is str, we know that. Like that, we are having dict class name, or the data type name we are telling as dict. So they are also considered as the data types. So list is there, tuple is there, and we are having set, and we are having dict. So these are the main data types in Python. First set of values, it is only one value. If you want to represent, you can use. Okay, only string is collection of characters are there. Remaining all int is only one integer value, float is one float value, one decimal value, and complex is one complex value, bool is one bool value, true or false it is. And list is set of values which is representing in square bracket, tuple is in parenthesis, set is in curly braces, dict is in key value pairs. That is the main difference. Okay, I hope you are able to follow. If not, you can just stop me. Okay, now I'll do one thing. I'll just give you the syllabus part also. Okay, what all things, this much is there for today's session. I'll continue on tomorrow. I just share with you the syllabus also. Okay, give me 1 minute. Okay, this is the syllabus we are going to follow in this complete session. So this is first introduction to Python. Then after that, conditional branching, if, else, loops and all will come. Then functions, data structures, modules and packages, files. File handling is there in detail. Errors and exception handling, object-oriented programming concepts, reference types, threading, database connectivity, networking. These are the syllabus. And at last, we will be discussing a mini project also. Okay. So this is the syllabus. So every day, 1.5 hours, the session will be there, 8 to 9:30. I just want you people to just send your mail ID in the chat window. Okay, and please inform your friends also. The morning session 8 to 9:30 is there, Python. Please, because of the lockdown, many people are at home, so we can make it more like productive by joining for a session. It will be 8 to 9:30 every day, Monday to Friday. Okay, so please give your mail ID. Yeah, so we'll send you the details. Yes, fine. So tomorrow it will be 8 to 9:30 session will be there, because of this is first session as the this is just an introduction session. That is the reason I'm stopping bit early.